Lando Norris set 2022 challenge by McLaren bosses. MC Law and executive racing director Andrea Stella has hailed Lando Norris as one of the strongest drivers in Formula One but admitted there is some room for improvement next season. Norris heads into 2022 alongside McLaren off the back of his most successful season in F1, picking up podiums, a maiden pole, and came agonizingly close to a maiden win in Russia, but to the latter part of the season fell away from the top two of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in the standings. Norris ended up finishing 6th in the standings, 4.5 points behind Carlos Sainz Jr. in the Ferrari on 160 points with 4 podiums to his name, most notably a second-placed finish at the Italian Grand Prix. I think Lando, in his third year of Formula One, has developed in terms of, first of all, pure speed, Stella said. I am confident to say that in terms of pure speed, he is one of the strongest drivers on the grid, and I think this is true in all conditions. It is enough to think some of the performances in the wet and also the pole position he scored in Russia was in transitional tarmac conditions. In Q3 we shifted from intermediate to soft compound tyres. The turn in McLaren's form has put the team in good stead to hit the ground running in 2022, with Norris alongside Daniel Ricciardo once again. But for Norris specifically, the team had some points of improvement for the 22-year-old. With Lando, we also worked on improving the racecraft, so the capacity to score points, and I think this is in a way proven by the facts, results, added Stella. Where I see the opportunity with Lando is on consolidating these very high standards that he has achieved in every single session, so we want more consistency of deploying this level of top performance. Earlier in the year, Norris admitted he felt much more confident he could fight for a win after the heartbreaking end to the Russian Grand Prix. Poised for a maiden win, changing track conditions saw the victory slip through McLaren's fingers with a handful of laps remaining. Speaking ahead of the penultimate round in Saudi Arabia, Norris said, "I definitely feel much more confident that if I was to fight for a win suddenly in the first race next year, especially after being in the position I was in Russia, I think I'd feel very confident in that position. Of course, I'd still be nervous and whatever, but I think I'll be a lot more confident than if I didn't have the year I've had this year and experienced some of the things I've experienced this season. But I feel much more confident of knowing what I've got to do when I'm in that position. So I think from that side I'm ready for it. But I guess you never know how much better you're going to do, as a lot of it depends on the car and things like that. Sometimes you've got to be lucky, sometimes you're unlucky. I worked hard over the winter to make a lot of these improvements. One thing that made me very happy is seeing the improvements actually quite obviously have an effect and take place and show straight away in terms of results. Predominantly from a driver confidence, driver mentality point of view, I feel very confident, added Norris. Whether that means we're going to do well or not, next year, we'll just have to wait and see.